finished the topology conference in Prague, and I need to go back to Poznan today. So last thing I'm going to do is check out the old Jewish district. And this dates back to 965 AD, and it survived World War II, surprisingly. I guess Hitler wanted to make it a museum to a dead race, essentially, so it's kind of crazy to me. And we're going to head that way, but we're in a very interesting street. It's right next to it. And this is one of these streets that has all like the fancy stores like Louis Vuitton. There's like some others, I guess Dior. I only really know the ones that were mentioned in Sex and the City because that's not really my world. I know you can get Louis Vuitton handbags, so I don't know if this is one of them. Right here, is that a Louis Vuitton? Probably this is right here. I don't know, would this be better carry? I don't know, I have no idea what that even costs. Would this be better carrying my GoPro batteries than this? So this is, I mean, it's really an interesting street. We have like a Porsche there, we have a Audi, and I think I saw like there's another Porsche there and another one there is a Toyota. So we're gonna head that direction, and I want to see this Jewish district. Apparently there's like a really spooky cemetery and some really interesting synagogues and a lot of history. And I see another guy there with the GoPro. Maybe he has the same idea as me. It's up. Hi. Hey. Hi. Hey, you recording vlog or something?
No.
Just some B-roll. Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the old Jewish quarter and check something out. I'm trying to make some sort of video.
Us, yeah. I mean, that's the most magical part of the city. I'm the one that lives here. They're just visiting.
Where are you guys from?
Slovakia.
Ah, cool, yeah.
And she's from Poland.
Okay, which city?
Krakow.
Okay, I live in Poznan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you live in?
Yeah, I'm American. Yeah, I'm American.
Yes,
so.
obviously.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, nice to meet you. So you guys been here before or not?
They haven't.
No.
Okay. Do you mind if I follow you around?
Yeah. There's like,
we'll see what happens.
I don't know if you know about this place. There's like 5 different synagogues, one next to each other, pretty much. This is a very specific kind of a city. There's a lot of myths about alchemy and the golem and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I don't know if you're familiar with this stuff.
Well, I tried to do some reading on Wikipedia right beforehand. So if you know this better than I do, that can help too.
Yeah. I mean, I've been living here for a while, and this is like, you know, the Jewish community from all around the world, from the US, Israel and stuff. They come here to gather for a specific purpose. There is, for instance, this legend about Rabbi Levi, who in the 1500s, I think, based on the old Jewish Kabbalah, he built a statue and animated it.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah, this is in a lot of video games, actually. There's a golem you fight.
Yeah. A golem is a you know, it's a fairly well-known idea. Back from the Jewish Kabbalah. And this used to be the capital city of alchemy 500 years ago. Oh, cool. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I know all about that.
There's like an entire alternative history in itself. But it's not going to come to you. You have to look for it.
This is very convenient because obviously you know way more than I do. So,
I mean, it doesn't matter how much you think you know about it.
Yeah, there's more.
But there's layers of this stuff. And you always feel like an amateur. Yeah. You always feel like you barely scratched the surface. Yeah. You know?
We don't want them to get too far behind.
Oh, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
We need to buy some sort of tickets to get into these, right?
If you want to get in, I don't even know if that one is accessible at all. There's also a Jewish cemetery around the
That's
corner.
What I really want to see. Like, I love spooky cemeteries. Yeah.
So maybe some tickets for silent.
Yeah.
You can buy tickets here.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive, but it's also pretty extensive. Like, it takes hours, and you can get a guide. They will explain to you every detail. I mean, it's up to you how far you really want to go.
Something like 50 euros for like a guided tour. I think probably I'm just going to try to get into the places and just look around.
And the cemetery is right in front of us.
Yeah, so I guess a cemetery, that's something spooky. I guess there's something like 200 or 100,000 people buried there. I heard, it's like...
you know, basically when the Nazis took over in '39, they wanted to destroy the cemetery completely. And part of the stones they used in a Václavské náměstí to cover the floors later on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No one really knew about it.
Oh, that's
it
spooky.
Only became known. Yeah. They did that on purpose.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah. Well, I heard that this is 12 levels deep. That they have people buried on.
Obviously, you have some knowledge that I don't even.
I read, I mean, I did Google this beforehand. I didn't want to sound like a total idiot when I got here. But my understanding is that something like there's like capacity for like 10,000 people there, but there's actually like 200,000, and then they actually buried them 12 levels.
On top of each other.
And that's why it's so high up. So I want to go there for sure as part of the exploration.
And these shops, they sell a lot of, like, you know, typically Jewish souvenirs. You know, you can see the Merkaba and the Star of David. And all
Any
that,
golem stuff?
Oh yeah,
The golem sounds interesting to me.
And I think there is like a golem restaurant where they have
really?
the statue. It's around
Oh,
the corner.
cool,
We're gonna
cool.
pass by there later on.
Cool.
So. And my dad wants to come here next month. He's really stoked. He wants to go to the cemetery and do like a guided tour.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, every detail. You can kind of see the cemetery through those holes. Because it's right behind that wall.
Oh, I want to go to the real thing. I think we need like a ticket to get into the cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Get them here.
Yeah, I definitely want to get that. So you're not getting a ticket, or?
No. I'm just showing them around because we got things to do.
Okay, yeah,
You know?
too. I got to go back to Poznan today as
Hey,
well. So.
Anyway, man, pleasure to meet you.
I really appreciate it. So.
Yeah.
Good to meet you guys also. I don't want to distract you from your friend too
no
much.
worries.
Yeah.
I want to show them the cemetery through just to peek.
Is that a Hero 8 or what is that?
Hero 9.
Oh, 9. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
I bought it in States actually.
Oh, really? Yeah.
With good discounts.
Oh, yeah, it helps. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. Yeah. So, all is
Anyway,
good. Yeah.
Hey, pleasure.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, take care.
Have a good one.
All right, bye. Okay, time to get some tickets. Anyways, I got the tickets, and to go see pretty much everything, and with no tour whatsoever, it's 500 Czech crowns, which as of today is $20.77. And you can get everything except for the one currently active synagogue for 350 crowns. So I got my ticket here. And apparently all the synagogues, except for this one, they're just not active anymore. And the first order of business is to find a bathroom. And apparently one of them charges and the other two don't. Even the guy selling me the tickets, like, I have no idea why they're asking money for it. And I think it's like 80 crowns or something. So he told me something like the visitor center or something I should go. So we'll do that, so we're a little more comfortable when we're walking through some places. Having a little trouble juggling around all these, but I believe this is the information center. Yeah, information reservation center, Cafe Golem. So we'll see if we can find the bathroom there and get started.
Sorry?
How does this work?
Oh, it is.
Ah, thank you.
Two hands.
Thanks. Gotta be quick. Such trouble getting into the bathroom, but it looks nice and clean, so I'll be back in a minute. Just gonna take care of business and we can go to the first place. I didn't record the previous part. So here we are at the Pincus synagogue right now, and this dates back to 1535, and you can see it's below ground level. Apparently there are all kinds of issues with flooding, and we're gonna go, and apparently there's some memorials to something like 78,000 Jews that were killed, Czech Jews that were killed here in the Holocaust. Well, this is something very interesting. When I got in, they gave me this little temporary yarmulke, and apparently we're supposed to wear it in the cemetery, so you'll get to see me, of all people, wearing something like this. So this building, it's supposed to have all these names of the 78,000 victims of the Holocaust that are from Czech Republic. And you look at that wall right over there, and I don't know how it looks on the video, but when you get closer, this texture, it just names. And the last year isn't necessarily the time that they died. That's just when they were last known to have responded to somebody. And so there's just entire building, more and more names, everyone with their own story, probably many of them met really horrible death. And what's also kind of scary about this, when you look at the total victims of the Holocaust, this is obviously just a drop in the bucket. And I think over here, I heard that they're reading the names out of a lot of the victims. Yeah, this is just overwhelming. A little strange to be in now such a dark place. There can be a gift shop selling souvenirs and things. And we are on the way to the cemetery. It's over there. I think there's a little route we need to go through to get there. We're at the cemetery, and it's a little windy now, so my yarmulke is blowing off. And I tried Googling this, but my internet service is terrible when going abroad, so Play doesn't seem to work too well when you go to other countries. So I couldn't figure out exactly why it is that we're supposed to wear this. So if anyone can say in the comments, I have no problem doing it, but I don't know what the reason is. And here we have this rope. So you're not able to walk there. And just imagine, like, this area, it's not like really all that big. There's something like 200,000 people buried here. And, I'm always still a little superstitious about walking in graves and things like that. I was conditioned not to, of course. So I always am very careful. But you can just imagine anywhere here that you walk, there's something like 12 people all the way down. And that to me is just absolutely crazy. It may seem like a minor detail, but this yarmulke thing is actually turning out to be a little tricky. The wind stopped for now, and I saw some people, they're using their sunglasses to hold it down, but it just totally didn't seem to work for me. Maybe my head is kind of shaped in a funny way, I don't know, but it really can just blow off if you're not careful about it. So if you come here with some way to hold it down, maybe it's a good idea if it's a windy day. And we have it's interesting, is that plants supposed to be here or not? I know, like in the cemeteries in Poland, people are leaving all kinds of flowers and things, but this is totally different. I think it would be much harder for people to come here and visit their relatives unless they just allow it some time. And this is exactly what I said happens, that this will fly off. Also, to make it plausible how high this is up. So look at how much higher we are than ground level down there. So I think this is the only cemetery I know that was built up like this rather than just being on, say, ground level. Interesting observation as well. I see some of these graves with these little stones on it. There's one there. There's a few over here. If anyone can tell me what that means, maybe that's in some ways honoring the other people below it. I'm not really sure. Just the organization of this sort of thing seems like it's an absolute nightmare. I think this is the most unique cemetery I found. If you're familiar with my content, you know that I definitely make a point to go to cemeteries when I'm in new countries. It's not the scariest because I think just like with Chernobyl, having like all these tours and clearly there being some control. And, oh, that's actually kind of interesting there. This somehow makes it a little bit less spooky. If this is something you just sort of found wandering around off the road in the middle of the night, it might make it scarier. I think probably the cemetery in Dębiec I showed in my Halloween video was actually a little bit spookier to me. Number 4 on the tour, well, number 3 in actual numbers, is the Klausen Synagogue. It seems to be mostly a museum, and you'll have this beautiful architecture, nice stained glass, great paintings. But I don't think I'm going to really record that much here because it's going to be a matter of like, okay, there's a comb from 1778 and all that, and it's probably better just to come and check it out yourself and see all the various little things. You have to be very careful when all this is going to be open. So actually today is Sunday, and I wanted to go here Saturday when I had plenty of time, and actually delayed my trip home just to make it here because the whole place is closed on Saturday. So be sure to check, and I think that it closes like an hour before sunset, or I don't know, it's something like very specific depending on the season even, so you really need to check before you go here. So this is how stupid I am that I can't read a map correctly. That actually was not the Klausen Synagogue, which makes a lot of sense because it's supposed to be big, and that place is actually quite tiny. So that was actually the ceremonial hall, which acts like a mortuary and is, you know, revolving all around the burials and stuff, which makes a lot of sense why they were talking about some of that stuff in there and why it's directly then attached to the cemetery. So this much bigger building here, this is the actual Klausen Synagogue. Okay, this makes a lot more sense as the Klausen Synagogue. So this is quite a bit bigger. And this area right here, it's really a similar type of thing. There's a museum, there's, 200-year-old plate, 400-year-old, whatever. And I don't think this is the sort of thing that really works well for this format. But it looks like there's something going on up there. So I want to check and see if there's some way to get up there, maybe some interesting prayer rooms or something like that. I looked around for a bit to try to find a way up, and I had no success whatsoever. So I did see there are some people walking around. It looks like there's really a few floors, and maybe someone, well, some cleaning thing. maybe someone can write in the comments if there is a way to get up there. It seemed like it might have been restricted to tourists at the moment. We've already seen all the stuff around here, and we need to go all the way over here, and it's really not going to be that far, but these are going to be by themselves, and then I think we can end right here. So we're just talking to Levy here for a little bit after taking videos of the car, and he was saying that you think it's 100,000 people.
The highest estimate I heard was 100,000, between like 50 and 100, I think.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
So I think there's varying different estimates. So I guess the 12 layers is something consistent. You heard 12 layers?
Yeah, I hear that.
Okay.
Maybe 10, 12,
Yeah. So I think nobody, I guess, actually knows for sure how many. So maybe it's 100, maybe it's 50, maybe
They had
200.
the records, like in this building over here.
Okay.
They got destroyed at some point.
Oh, no, like in the war or some other time?
I think the war. I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure. But like this was the Jewish town hall. They had all the records of the cemetery and everything, and then it got destroyed at some point.
Oh, cool. Okay, so that's the town hall. Okay. And is your family from this area in Prague? Or? Okay. So you don't have anyone in your past that was affected by any of that stuff?
Not in this area. No.
Okay, gotcha. We are at the Spanish synagogue. We had to walk a bit. And this is a statue of Franz Kafka. And everybody likes rubbing his feet. You can see the different color there. And he's from this area. And of course, you know, the description, you know, Kafkaesque refers to the style and craziness of the things happening in his novels. And so this is the Spanish synagogue, and I read that it's the name Spanish isn't really because it's actually Spanish, but it has to do with the architectural style. And they're advertising that they're the most beautiful synagogue, and I think there's concerts here or something, so we'll go in there and see what we find. Well, I don't think it was false advertising, so look at this. This is nice. In general, everything seems to be a little more cheery here. You know, we have someone actually doing something like a smile. Well, I mean, maybe not that dude up there. But this is about the I have Franz Kafka, like I mentioned earlier. And this is about the various Jewish authors that contributed around here. Yeah, we don't even have alcohol, so that's I guess kind of like in Polish. There's a Slivovica in Polish. It's like 70% alcohol. That one's only 50%. Okay, nice thing about this place is we can actually very easily reach the second floor, and there's a whole bunch of exhibits up here. So I don't know. People are saying that you can go see everything there is to see on this ticket in a couple hours, but I don't believe that. You know, there's so much more information here. And if we actually wanted to like thoroughly absorb all this stuff, it's going to really take forever. One other thing that's kind of cool I wanted to point out before I left is it looks like this is like an organ, like the instrument you see usually in a lot of Christian churches. So maybe it's something totally obvious if you're Jewish. Well, of course there's an organ in a synagogue. I mean, I have no idea. So is that something interesting or unusual? I guess maybe write in the comments, but I think it's pretty cool. Hour left and a few more places to go to. This is the Gutman Gallery, the Prague Wanderers. So I suppose this is where you can go to see some art exhibitions. I waited till everyone left because it seemed like everyone wanted to be really silent here. So I was an idiot, and actually this is just, you know, devoted to the work of the artist Robert Gutman. And so we see like some portraits of him over here, but you can go through here relatively quickly because there isn't really going to be all of that much. So I'm going to start heading to the last two places, and I got to start moving kind of quickly now. Right next to Restaurant Golem. I wonder if they have the real thing in there. We have the Mysel Synagogue, which also dates back like to the late 1500s, so it's really old. I think like 1590 or something like that. And this looks pretty nice. Let's go in here. Okay, so this also is not being currently used other than as a museum. And I think this maybe shows my biases, you know, playing too much Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior and stuff growing up as a kid. Because I'm like, oh, but just more exhibits and stuff. But then when we get something that I'm interested in, like Golem, actually it really draws my attention because it was, you know, supposedly like created from mud or something like that and then brought to life. And the Golem of Prague is apparently one of the most famous ones, although the legend dates back much further than that. last place I'm going to. You know, we're doing everything that the ticket allows. So hopefully this will be a pretty thorough video, but last place is an actual working, functioning synagogue now, because all these other ones were museums in some sort of level. And that was the difference in ticket prices, because normal ticket, the 351, gets you to like all these other places we've been to so far, and then you have to pay an additional 150 crowns to go to this next place. And this is our final destination on the ticket, at least. What, to my understanding, is actually a real working synagogue at the moment. I just started sitting down here, and kind of time just sort of went by, and then it turns out it's closing in 5 minutes, so I got to do this quickly. Since it's actually working, I think we need to have an actual yarmulke like we did in the cemetery. And there's no services, yeah, and it falls off very easily, even though there's no wind inside. And I'll just take a look around here. I really got to actually read what all this stuff is for, because this is totally foreign to me. I mean, what is that? Should Rabbi do something somewhere? Like, how exactly does this work? I kind of wish I could actually see a, you know, actual church service to see how it works. A few hours, because I have my bus that's leaving at like 11:25 p.m. to go to Poznan. And I have a bunch of stuff I don't want to do in Poznan before I can kind of go and relax a little bit more. So there's all kinds of paperwork and crap I got to deal with, because I'm trying to hire a postdoc and 2 PhD students on my grant. So it's a bit tricky to go through, and I need to kind of track down some people and get signatures and things. So in the meantime, I'm going to look for some stuff to do, because I have like more than 5 hours to fill. So let's go find some things. I found a hilarious gift, and it's a little controversial now in the United States, of course, but it's like a rabbi with a little knife and a baby boy with who's about to circumcise. So it's, yeah, I wonder, I'm trying to think who would like that as a gift. I'm not sure if I know anyone who would, but it could be funny. This would be cool to me, the golems. Actually, rather than finding anything around the city, I think I just need to sit down. But I was going by Celine, and this handbag right here, 82,000 crowns or $3,406. Would you buy a handbag for $3,400? I might buy, I don't know, if I had that much money just to kind of throw around, I'd probably just like buy a really fancy drone or something, I don't know. I wonder what the Mavic Pro 3 like Cine like is costing now. I think it's actually a little more than that, but I need to go sit down now. Oh, I'm actually back in Poznan now, and I just skipped a whole bunch of filming. So I was dumb and bought the bus ticket for the next day, and then there weren't any tickets left, and there was a whole kinds of craziness that went on with me trying to get on the bus I planned to go on the way back. And I'm gonna omit a lot of the details, but I made it somehow, and it's the next day, so I got a little bit of sleep in the bus, but I just want to get back home and really take a nap for real. So buses come here, and I don't know, I'm just kind of tired. So, you know, the usual, I love to be enthusiastic now, but, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all this sort of stuff, and really helps with the algorithm. And, you know, I'm gonna go to bed.